Oh boy, I can't believe we're back to square one with this. Oh Lord, and I'm not acting. I'm not acting. This is not an act. I'm genuinely in disbelief. You saw the title, the thumbnail. Trevor Bauer has once again been allegedly accused of sexual assault to another woman, stemming back to 2020. So I wanted to come on here and I wanted to honestly make a Trevor Bauer video on his amazing outing. I really was. I was hoping to, in the next couple days here, make a Trevor Bauer video about why he could possibly be the best pickup for a team post All-Star break, because he's doing well in Japan. I mean, yet another sensational outing from Trevor Bauer. This was tonight on Wednesday. His final line for the Bay Stars was 9 innings. Only gave up 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, 12 strikeouts. He has a 2.10 ERA across his last 4 starts, accumulating to 30 innings pitched among those last 4 starts. He's been turning it around in Japan. And I was dead set on coming on this channel and making a pro Trevor Bauer video to bring him back to the States, as God do I believe he deserves it. Now, there's a wrinkle in the plans, because according to multiple sources, ESPN, again, I don't like ESPN, but other sources have done as well, MLB's, CBS Sports, Bleacher Report, all those, different websites have reported on this. Trevor Bauer faces yet another sexual allegations. I will read you this article. It's from ESPN. And again, I want to make you all aware that I will be bleeping out and blacking out some words. Again, YouTube does not like when I read articles that include graphic details, and unfortunately I can't avoid that in this situation because that's the nature of the news story. But let's just get right to it. A 4th woman has accused former MLB pitcher Trevor Bauer of sexual assault in a lawsuit filed in Arizona. Bauer has countersued the woman for fraud, saying that she's attempting to harass and extort money from him in the wake of similar allegations made by 3 other women. In the amended complaint filed on Tuesday, the woman said she had a, quote, unplanned pregnancy after Bauer violently assaulted her in December of 2020. In court filings, described the situation as a, quote, single encounter that was, quote, consensual. Now, the woman, whom ESPN has chosen not to name, of course, they always got to keep a secret, don't know who they are, stated in her initial complaint that she had visited Bauer at his home in Scottsdale, Arizona, several times before. Now, during those earlier visits, he had a jagged steel to her throat several times, according to her initial complaint filed back in December of 22. Now, she also accused Bauer of forcibly removing her clothes, her and slapping her on December 13th of 2020 before he used her butterfly braids as a, quote, rope me unconsciously with my hair, end quote. Now, in the amended complaint, her attorney stated resulted in unplanned pregnancy. The woman also said in the amended complaint that Bauer, quote, instructed that she not keep any records about what had occurred, including the pregnancy, and that they should keep it private between themselves, end quote. Now, her attorneys state in the court records that she, quote, became idle and went to the hospital, end quote, in the weeks after the and that Bauer, quote, later slammed her into a computer, breaking the screen when she was about 3 months pregnant. She, quote, decided not to terminate the pregnancy, but had a miscarriage in April 2021, according to her filing on Tuesday. Now, Bauer categorically denies the woman's allegations. Now, the statement from Bauer's representatives said that the woman made several $million-dollar demands against Bauer over 2 years, prompting him to file a criminal complaint against her. Now, Scottsdale police officer Aaron Boland told the Associated Press on Wednesday that Bauer filed a criminal complaint on January 24th, alleging the woman was trying to extort him, but detectives did not recommend charges to the Maricopa County prosecutors. Boland said that there were also no charges recommended after the woman filed a complaint against Bauer on December 20th, alleging a sexual assault 2 years before. Now, the court records show that Bauer's attorneys first denied her allegations in April and countersued for fraud, labeling the woman's lawsuit as, quote, harassment. They said that Bauer has recordings of their conversations, which shows the woman asked for $1.6 million to terminate the pregnancy. Now, Bauer provided the woman with more than $8,700 to reimburse her for, quote, medical expenses related to her pregnancy, according to his court filings, but the woman never provided, quote, any medical records to substantiate her pregnancy or termination. Instead, Bauer's lawyers said in his counter lawsuit that she had LASIK surgery, which the woman denied. Now, Bauer's countersuit stated the woman fabricated her pregnancy to try and extort him for money, noting that she hired attorneys to send a demand letter for $3.6 million following allegations of made by a woman in California. Now, I also want to note the Arizona woman is suing Bauer battery and emotional distress, asking a judge to award her punitive damages to punish the defendant for his conduct and to deter defendant from engaging in such conduct in the future. Bauer's countersuit accuses the woman of fraud relating to the $8,700 he gave her for medical expenses and asked for punitive damages and attorney fees. Okay. I mean, I don't know what to say at this point. Again, if you saw my initial video on the very first case that was brought forth to Trevor Bauer, I was pretty angst about it. Again, that one, I think it was, wasn't it Ken Rosenthal wrote it or something, or it might have been Jeff Passan who wrote the article. And they were really descriptive with it. And again, kind of my first time covering a story like this on YouTube way back when. So again, I was baffled by the details that they had in that article. Come to find out, it was all fabricated, and the media essentially lied. And the sources themselves that they got the information from lied. So thus they wrote a fabricated article. Anyways, the point being is that the first time I did this whole thing, I was pretty pissed. And I was like, well, this guy's a nutcase. Then you come to find out that he's not the nutcase, it's like the women that are cuckoo, because in every other basically case that there's been, again, 3 others, he's been either found innocent or if they settled it out of court. It's amazing that this woman now comes out almost 2 years later. Why this guy? I really don't get it. I think the whole thing is bullshit. I really do. I'm calling her bluff. Again, the details, are they like impressive and like jaw-dropping from the naked eye when you read it? Yeah, but like I read the other articles and they had the similar too. I could name, a bunch of crazy in those articles that was initially put in them to make the public think this guy's like psychopath. He was always found innocent. He either settled out of court or he was found innocent. And it's just so convenient that this story comes out the day of his fantastic outing in Japan. Giving up 3 hits, an earned run, striking out 12, walking 1 guy. I mean, is a 2.10 ERA now in the past 4 starts, and now all of a sudden, I'm gonna say it, another hoe comes out. Another hoe comes out. She comes out of the woodworks. It's like, what is with this guy? There comes a point where I understand, in most cases you gotta be very down the middle when it comes to a point of view on this. I don't want to take Bauer's side, all the time. I don't want to take the woman's side all the time. Again, my first one, I did it on the first video that, basically blew my channel up. I was on the woman's side. I was, because read this article, it was like, whoa. Come to find out that half of it never happened. It was all exaggerated, fabricated. She lied, essentially, to the judge, and She was screwy. It wasn't he was screwy, she was screwy. So now I'm at a point where this is the 4th time going around with this case, and I don't know how much I can believe from anybody. Again, don't kill the messenger. I'm just trying to navigate through this the best I know how, and unfortunately I've been doing this too many times with this guy. Again, I will defend my respect for him as a ball player. I like Trevor Bauer. I do. I like him as a ball player. I think he's one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball. Yes, he struggled in Japan, but should have never been in Japan. It shouldn't have happened this way. Baseball has out for this guy. Who knows why? I don't know if it was a whole YouTube thing. I don't know if it was him exposing Rob Manfred. I don't know if it was him exposing the reporters. I'm sure it was. It had to be a little bit of it. And if you all think that MLB doesn't have a say in this and doesn't have their hand caught in the cookie jar, so to speak, with this whole, Trevor Bauer situation and all these cases and claims coming out by these multiple women, all these frickin' cities, you're fooling yourselves. Take the blinders off and let's just realize that MLB, at this point, I'm going to say it, has its hand in the workings of basically blackballing Trevor Bauer. And you know what? I think this fourth case shows how MLB has manipulated these events, I guess you could call it, these multiple carbon copy events over the past 2 years, essentially. They've blackballed outsiders. Anybody who doesn't fall in line with their agenda is going to be blackballed. Because you know what? They know teams want him. And the only way they can stop Trevor Bauer from returning to the States is having another woman come out 2.5, 3 years later saying that this guy did the same shit to her that he's was accused of with 3 previous women and all found innocent or been settled out of court. And they know that he has the potential to return to the States this year, not next year, this year. They know what's going on in Japan. They know how good he's been doing. Why didn't she come out when he was doing? That's what I want to know. Because let's look at it from her perspective. Okay, he's not in baseball anymore. Maybe he don't come out with it because he's not playing baseball. He's been blackballed by the league. He ended up signing a contract with Japan, the Bay Stars, right? Why didn't she come out with it the minute he signed? I want to know what prevented her from coming out back in March or whenever the hell he signed with the Bay Stars. Was it the idea that, oh, well, 3 women lost and, well, I guess he's playing in Japan, so screw it. And, he's doing bad in Japan, so it's not worth it because everybody's written him off anyway. So, you know what? I'm not going to waste my time and put my name out there and accuse this guy because he's already wrecked himself. Let him dig his own grave, basically. He doesn't need any more help. But now that he's turning it around in Japan, the minute this guy goes 9 innings and a start in Japan, this comes to fruition. Coincidence? I think not. I'm sorry. This is coming from the top down, Rob Manfred. I think he is behind it. I think baseball's behind it. I think baseball or somebody advised this woman to come out at this specific time, on this specific date, at this specific year, to say, okay, woman, he did this to you? Okay, well, let's stir up some good storytelling here, and let's make some allegations, and let's be really graphic, detailed with it, like every other case was. Remember how detailed every other case was. And then we're gonna have you make up some other gruesome, detailed story, and then you're gonna throw it out the minute this guy does good in Japan. So then what happens? Like clockwork, he does good, pitches 9 innings, strikes out 12, gives up 1 hit, 1 walk, boom, great day. A couple minutes later, boom, story comes out, and, she's accusing him of and it's like, I don't know what to say. That's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe. Again, be respectful in the comments. I ask you that, bare minimum. Please be respectful. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just a messenger. Thanks for sticking around, and as always, I'll catch you guys later.